YouTube, what's up? I'm back. All right, quick update. I've been away for a while. Well, not away, but just kind of, you know, how life is. I got kids and coaching and doing all that stuff. But so got a new car. You can tell the crest here. I'm in a P car, my first Porsche ever. Really excited about it. Sold the Audi. There was a I had a little over 2.5 years and sold that. So I'm gonna give a little update. I'm gonna review this car. I'm gonna talk about how I found this car and kind of the story there, my plans for the car, my plans for the channel, and then we're gonna kind of get into the review of this car. So if you're here for just the review and you could care less about that other stuff, just fast forward 5 minutes or whatever. So so Audi, by the way, was fantastic. Had zero issues with the Audi. I drove that thing and it always performed well. It looked fantastic, such a great car. So I threw it up on Auto Trader and some guy called me, had an RS4, and he's like, hey, you know, is this a car on YouTube? I said, I mean, it's on YouTube. But so I guess he had seen the video and he came and checked it out, loved it. He ended up getting a great car because it had brand new Michelin Pilot Sports, it had a 21s, the tune, the whole deal. So sold that, and in that time I was looking for Panameras. I just figured, you know, hey, look, I think this is a car because I'm gonna be, you know, I can't get it brand new because it's like crazy expensive. So my thought was, hey, why don't I find one with like 4,000 miles and, you know, see what something like that looks like. So started doing some research on some Panameras. I drove a couple and, you know, really liked how they drove, and you know, so here I am, I'm sitting in it. And so there's a nice little story about that. So and then also just real quick for the channel, gosh, I really, you know, it's tough for me because I want to push out more content. It's just hard, you know, with all the stuff going on. You know, I have a business and, you know, that takes a lot of time. But, you know, I've been watching guys like Tavarish and Goon Squad and guys like that, and it just, it really, I would love to do stuff like that. Buy some wrecked cars, and, you know, I don't know those guys or anything. If you don't know them, look them up. I can't stop watching their videos. You know, Tavarish just rips, you know, apart these Lamborghinis, and I'm, you know, I can't do that. But anyway, so I would love to be able to have nice cars and review the ones that you guys have seen, the Q7, the S7, now the Panamera Turbo. I'd love to do that. I'd like to buy, you know, a wrecked one, you know, supercar type thing, and fix it up. And I'd also like to review just regular cars, brand new ones that come out at dealerships. So I think I could do all that. I love to have a channel that kind of has all three of those phases. You have a build going on, you're doing regular reviews, and then you got your car as well through the modification process as it goes. So in a perfect world, that's the kind of content that I would bring. It's just, can I do it? Can I pull that off? So that's kind of for me and the channel. Let's get back to this car. So selling my car, I see this one pop up. I saw a couple pop up, and then, you know, looking at new, it's crazy expensive, like I mentioned. So you know, I was like, I just can't swing it. You know, I'm a lease guy, you guys know that, and so, but the lease was just like, you know, for a fully loaded Panamera Turbo, it was like crazy, like, I don't know, $2,500, $3,000 a month. And I'm like, well, let's try the used option. So found this car at a Volvo dealership of all things, in Chicago. So talked to the guy, and, you know, ended up just talking to the manager. He did a full, like, you know, chat with me on it. I could see everything. It basically was fully loaded, had everything that I wanted except one option, and options are very plentiful on Porsches. If anybody's configured one, you know that. So I said, screw it, man. I booked a red eye out there, and went and saw the car. So a Chicago Bull owned it. He traded it in. He was like 7 feet tall, and he just really couldn't even fit in, I guess. So it's a 2018 with 4,000 miles. Flew out there. Car looked really good. And I had, before I flew out there, I had a PPI done. So the dealership that it was purchased at was right by this Volvo dealership. I called them and I arranged the manager, the GM of the Volvo dealership, to drive over to the Porsche dealership and do a PPI. I thought, hey, it's worth $400 for me to get the PPI done on the car. That way I don't have to fly out there or buy a car sight unseen. I'm just not going to do it with a car of this size, or you know how expensive it was. So the report came back good. He said, look, you know, there may be a couple cosmetic things here and there, but this car was bought here, this car was serviced here, I know this car, man, it looks good. They put a paint meter on it, the whole deal. So, and through that process, the guy is like, you know, hey, I don't know if you know, but this guy bought prepaid maintenance on this. So you're covered through the 40,000 mile service, which is, you know, like $4 grand right there. So that kind of sealed it for me. That was like, okay, that's a nice thing. I'll have another 3 years of warranty. Maintenance is paid for. This guy's kind of signing off on it. So I booked a flight, red eye out there, and man, I got there, drove it. And just a little side note, I've always on the forums and stuff, people complain about the, you know, that they can't have big wheels because of roads. I get it now. I'm born and raised in Southern California, San Diego, and I'm out there in Chicago driving this car, and it's raining, about to start snowing. There's freaking craters everywhere. And just, I told the guy, I'm good. Let's get this thing back to the dealership on a truck, because this car deserves to be out in some sunny weather. And I get it now why everybody complains about having low profile tires, you know, on the East Coast, because the roads were terrible. So I understand that now. So got it back. I arranged, I negotiated in the deal. I negotiated a closed transport. I figure it's coming across the country. I might as well spend the money. I mean, they negotiated, they paid for it, but in the end I paid for it, right? Because I could have negotiated that off the price. But it was a couple grand. Great company. They were there 10 minutes after I closed the deal to put this thing on a trailer, a closed trailer, and it took about 6 days to get out here. So so that's kind of a little backstory on the car and how I got it. Got the car, everything's been great. So in this video, my thoughts are, I want to go through this car, a full review of what I like about the car, what I don't like about it, what I've done to it so far, because I have modded it, I've done some things so far, and what I'm gonna do moving forward. So I got the sticker here actually, so I wanna talk about that. I'm gonna change the camera around here. And listen, I just want to say this with the sticker, I'm a regular, I don't, you know, everybody always asks me, well, how much was it, what package, and all this stuff. I'm not doing this, I'm not trying to flex, or I'm just a regular guy, you know, that you know, does okay, but I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm cool because I bought this car and this is how much the sticker is. It's not about that. It's about, you know, educating people, and kind of, you know, people always ask me, so we're gonna go through it. And I think why I wanted to do this is because I have so many times been like, all right, I'm building a Porsche. I go on their website and I go, okay, base price is this, and everything is a freaking option. That's what I don't like about Porsche. They get you for anything. Oh, you want a steering wheel? That's an additional charge. Oh, you want a gear lever? I mean, obviously not, but it's ridiculous with the amount of options what you have to pay. So I want to look at this. Let's pan out. Let's look at, you know, what the base of this was and how much, you know, all the options are, how this thing's configured. All right, guys, let's get into it. All right, so as you know, 2018 Panamera Turbo. What I know for the changes for 2019s, which look like they're hitting dealerships now, which is kind of late, I think they were held up, is heads-up display, which is new for Porsche, I believe. And then also in the regular Panamera, you can get a third seat option, which would in effect get rid of the 4-zone climate control. It would be more like the Sport Turismo. So that's for 2019. All right, so base price $150. All right, and then after options, I told you guys they are plentiful. Look at this. 192,410. It's ridiculous. I know. That's why I've never, you go and configure it, and then so this car has $42,000 in options. So let's just kind of go through them real quick. The important ones. So you got a sport design package. I think that changes the car. It's a lot at $6,000, but normally the sides are like black plastic, the side skirts, the chin spoiler, and the diffuser are black plastic. I think with this sport design package, it really does change the look of the car. So that's something to keep in mind. Heated multifunction steering wheel and carbon fiber. I love the carbon fiber. I don't really care about the heated steering wheel, but the carbon fiber is amazing. Feels amazing. I could have done without the power rear sunblides for $880. The 21 exclusive wheels. I change out my wheels anyways, which I'll show you guys here shortly. But I would have just gotten the cheapies that came on the car with the no cost option and done my own thing. Carbon fiber interior trim package, $1,000. Got to do that. Porsche crest, those are cool. Could live without it though, because it would normally just say turbo, and I think that's pretty cool. Door handles in high gloss black, love that. Door sill guards in carbon fiber, illuminated. They look cool, but push comes to shove, I would, I could do without those, but they are pretty cool. Central tack in white, I mean, it could do without that. Tinted LED taillights, they look cool, but is it worth, $840? I don't know. You're gonna have to. This is what I'm talking about. Porsche just charges you for everything. 4-zone climate control, $1,400. So I really wanted this because it's like a showpiece. I'll show you guys when I walk around the car. It looks really cool, but it has very limited functionality, to be quite honest with you. I mean, the map doesn't display on there. And, all my kids do is touch it and fingerprint it up. So, I mean, it does look good, but yeah, I don't know. If it's $1,400, so I'd probably go with it, especially if I don't need 5 seats. Burmeister 3D high-end surround. Crazy to spend $5,900 on a sound system. I will say this sounds amazing, and I wanted to find one with Burmeister, so love that option. Let's go through some of these. Window trim high gloss black. So ambient lighting interior package, kind of a must. And then so let's go into what I would have done. So this has a premium package plus. I would do that because you got the lane change assist, soft close doors, and seat ventilation. I missed on my Audi not having the seat ventilation, so I really wanted that. And then you have the LED matrix headlight. So I would include that. The assistance package, I would have stiffed on that because I have lane keep, whatever. All I would have done is I would have kept adaptive cruise control as a single option. And night vision is cool, and I'll show you guys that, but I don't use it. It's like you can show people, and they're like, well, you have night vision, but I don't need that. And then this, so I would have saved some money there. And then lastly, sport package. That I would have definitely gotten that. Rear axle steering is amazing. It turns the wheels in the same direction, I think, under 15 miles an hour. So it makes the turning radius very nice, like a small car. My wife's Q7 has that. I really like that. The sport exhaust alone is like $300 or $3,500 or something like that. So so that's included with that. And then the sport Kono package, which that's how you get launch control, which is amazing. So this sport package 100%. So I would expect this out a little different. The one thing it doesn't have is the surround view. I don't know who configured this car, but you're really $1,500, $1,200 option. You're going to spec it out at $192,000 and leave out the surround view and the front camera. I'm pretty bummed about that. I'm going to be honest here. But that's the one thing it didn't have, and I figured I could, live without it. But I am pretty bummed that whoever configured this car didn't configure it with that. So that's all the options. I wanted to kind of quickly go through that so you guys could see. And again, I've had this car now for 3 months. So I wanted to do a real review, use the equipment, and drive it for a while, then tell you guys what my thoughts are. So let's walk around the car. Let me show you what I've done, and then let's go on a drive. There she is. Yeah. All right, let's check it out, guys. All right, so let's just go right into looks. As from the thumbnail, you can see that I've done some stuff to it already, right? So another bonus for me that I found out through getting this car is this guy, he clear brawled the whole front end here, the whole front clip actually here, hood, front. He did the side skirts and he did the whole rear. So that, you know, so this guy bought this car for how much I showed you earlier. He clear brawled the whole thing, bought maintenance, I mean dumped a crazy amount of money in it. So going to looks, I could never really get my arms around the old Panamera with the bulbous rear. I just never liked it really. I mean, with wheels and stuff it could look pretty good, but I just never liked it. I think they killed it on this and it looks fantastic. So so looks, I think they got it. I think they really got it. Here's the sport design package, what I mentioned. So this would normally be black. This under here would normally be black. And where it really kind of stands out to me is on this rear diffuser. So you can see here, this part would normally be black. And it kind of gives this element to the car that just looks killer. Okay, so let's talk about what we done. So I had my guy, since this guy had this clear bra done and he left the edges, I'm not a huge fan of how it was done. So I had my guy clean all that up, and now you can already see it's collecting dirt. It should have been this disassembled and wrapped under, but he said, I wouldn't take off that film just because it's not perfect. So anyways, he cleaned that up, and then I ceramic coated the whole car. Because who's gonna, I don't know, it's just so much better once I ceramic coat it. All my cars I do, and it just makes cleaning easier, protects it a little bit, and it beads water. The wheels I had, wasn't a fan of, so got new wheels. So here's what I got. Front, so I got the Vosen hybrid forged 22 by 9.5 in the front, running a 265/30/22 tire. So very similar to the stock wheel, which was a 21 running a 275/35/21. Offset's perfect, guys. It looks really good. It's kind of a flat, not much concave here, and then but in the back they have a, you know, a 11-inch wheel here. Okay, so it's and this is running a 315/25/22, and there's some nice concave here. The offset's really good, and on these are the VFS ones. I just like the style. I've always liked wheels like this. I know really spokey wheels are popular right now, but this is kind of my style, and I think it sets it off nice. The other thing I did was I painted the calipers yellow. As you guys can see, all my cars, you know, this one, the Q7, it did white, and this one, they're not carbon ceramics, and that's the carbon ceramic color. But I just thought the yellow would look great, and actually this car, when it's rolling and you just see the black wheel and then the yellow through there, it looks amazing. So he did a really good job here. I think it just looks great. So I got it ceramic coated, got new wheels, and painted the calipers. So what I want to do moving forward, I need to find something here, whether I just wrap this black or paint it white. I need to figure that out. I'm gonna probably do something here. Here's what I'm really bummed out though about, guys. This, I was thinking, okay, you know, it's got a plate, there's 2 holes, I'll just get some bumper plugs. No, these bastards, I pulled this off. There's 4 holes. It's blasphemous that they're gonna do this to the front of a Porsche. 4 holes, and not only that, there's 2 other like starter holes from these or something. I'm so bummed. I don't know what to do, because it's like, so I'm just leaving it as now, like this as of now, because I'd have to take off the clear bra, I'd have to take it to the body shop and have them fill it, and it's like, do I really want to do that for the front plate or just leave it like this? So that bummed me out a little bit. Let's give you another view here. I think it looks really good though, guys. Love the styling. Here's one thing though, it's pretty dang low. Like my Audi, I was able to lower through VAGCOM. So this though, it's at its lowest setting. But so the wheel gap isn't like crazy low, right? It's got a decent wheel gap. This side's higher because of the air, and that side's gonna be lower. So I think it sits okay. And I originally was thinking I would get a module and lower it, but honestly, I can't even park this thing, guys. It's so annoying. Like this sport design kit will barely fit over a thing. And since I don't have that surround view, it's hard to park, not gonna lie. Pulling out of things, I have to be super careful with this. It's so low. So that is an annoyance for me. So this is just a quick little walk around, kind of give you an idea, but the lines are amazing. The hood, it's an adjustment sitting in this car because this hood is super high when you're sitting there in a very low sitting position. So it takes a second to get used to driving this car. You feel really low, which I love, but it's like you're looking over this hood. So this is just a quick little walk around. Let's go on a drive. And while I'm driving, I think I can, we can highlight some of the performance, the interior features, what I like, what I don't like. So let's go on a drive and see what happens. All right, let's do this. So right off the bat, let's just go in. Let me put on my seatbelt because it's gonna be annoying. Okay, so you see this right here? That was actually pretty quick. So, because I was just in the car. But that's one of my annoyances with the car, if we're gonna go right into likes and don't likes, is the system itself is a little laggy in the very beginning. After it loads, and let's talk, it's like 10-15, let's just call it 15 seconds. Not a huge deal, but where it is a little bit of annoyance is I have this button set to next track, and you can't use that if it hasn't loaded yet, right? That's not a big deal. That's super nitpicky. But this, the chassis height, I told you guys I scratched my car the other day, and it was raining, and I was trying to get sushi, and they didn't have what I want, and then I got in the car, and then I was going down, and I saw that it was a dip leaving, and I'm like, oh, I should lift it, but this was still like pinwheeling because I had left. I was pissed off. I was leaving right away. I didn't, and I scratched it. So this has to be loaded to work, but if you hit it, it's nice having that on my home screen like that, so guys can see the car is lifting up right now, and it gives you this little indication right here. Pretty trick. So that's a little bit of an annoyance. I will say these buttons here, I don't like this. So it's like, okay, this is give me the wheel back. So Porsche changed it to control that, but it's kind of like cheap, and it takes a while to turn it down. Yes, I could use this knob. By the way, this knob's in a weird spot. I'm used to it now because your hand kind of rests here, but it's like the volume button here and no physical track buttons. They're here, not the huge deal. It's just a weird placement to me. So I use the steering wheel, but I have to click it a lot. So that is a annoyance to me. The gloss trim everywhere, the gloss like buttons, they're kind of, it's not a huge deal, but I'm not a big gloss black guy, and that's, I'm nitpicking here, just to be honest with you, but I think that's what you guys want, is me to do that. Okay, I'm gonna nitpick here more. The center vent, I mean, dude, just give me a vent. I don't need to click a button and play with the screen to change the vent. I mean, it's cool. People are like, wow, but really just give me a little slider here for that. That's kind of annoying. I will say, these are little things, not a huge deal. Let me see what else I dislike. Steering wheel, gloss black. Storage. I don't know if you guys can see this because of the angle, and I'll highlight it if not, but the storage is kind of lacking here in their design. If they would have implemented cup holders here, and maybe that would have been weird because of the shifter, and they obviously went with this theme here, it kind of takes up a lot of the space there. So that's a little bit of an annoying. But let's go on a drive. So those are the things I don't like, and as you can tell, they're pretty minor. Going right into things I love is this sport response button. Because it has auto start stop like most cars these days, if it's in this mode and the the conditions are right, it's gonna auto start stop. But if I just go over to individual, boom, that's disabled because I already set that up. So that's easy. Right when I get in, I go to individual or sport. A lot of the time I'm driving in sport, so because it opens the valves on the exhaust, the throttle is in a good spot, it knows what gear I want to be in. So what I have an interesting take on my likes and dislikes, because the transmission is a like and a dislike. So the transmission for this Panamera is an 8-speed dual clutch PDK, right? I want to say the older ones were 7 speeds, and this is what's going to be in the new 911 is this 8-speed PDK. So on automatic mode, when I'm just driving normal in sport or sport plus, it knows what gear I want to be in for the most part. It doesn't like my Audi, my Audi for instance. No matter if I was in sport or sport plus, it like was in 4th, 5th, 6th gear. I'm like, dude, I want to, I don't always want to dump on the throttle, floor it with that kick down position and do that. I want to roll into the gas a little bit. I want the transmission to kind of know. So I always drove my Audi in manual mode, right? Because even with a TCU tune in my Audi, it still didn't really respond how I wanted. It was like, it was always upshifting, just too fast. So that's, I love the automatic portion of this transmission. You notice I'm in sport here, and it's right there at 3,000. It's great. Here's where it gets weird, and I've seen this on the forums, but if I switch over into manual mode, right? So I'm just hanging out. It has a little delay between when I do it. So watch. Right there, I shifted at 6. I hit the paddle at 6, and then it didn't shift till 6,400 RPM. So I don't know what the deal is. There's a lag between paddle and once I hit the shifter to when it actually shifts. I've banged off the rev limiter here a couple times. Super annoying. So that's got to be a software thing. I've seen it on the forums. There's another Panamera. It's a base one. I love the color though. Really hard to find. So that's what's weird. It's like I love the transmission and I don't like it in manual mode because it's there's a little delay and I'm not sure why. It's got to be able to program out, but because when you're in automatic mode, it's lightning fast. So let's just hold here for a little bit. I'm gonna pull over here. Wait till the road's clear. So that's that's interesting. This sport though response button, I'll say, is amazing, because in my Audi, to go into sport or sport plus or whatever they called it, I had to hit a button here. I had to click the wheel over to sport plus. I can't remember what they call it. And it was annoying. It's like, no, I want access. I want to be able to change modes just like this. And, and with this you can. And the sport response button is amazing, because if I'm in just regular mode, cruising, suspension is plush, everything's plush, and I'm just cruising on the freeway and I want to overtake somebody, I hit this sport response button and it maxes everything out. So with those 20 seconds, you can see it's counting down. It puts me in the best mode possible, essentially, to pass people. Downshifts is low of a gear as it can, and it just maxes everything out for 20 seconds. Then after that, boom, it goes to chill mode. So I'll demonstrate that up here, but I have a clear road. Let's do it. This thing pulls like a freight train. Woo! So my sister lives right over here, so I had a guy come out before, but for a car this big, guys, this shouldn't handle like this. It really should. It's insane. Like, you can feel the all-wheel drive system. You can feel this air suspension and these, I love how when you go to Sport Plus, it dampens the car more. My Audi didn't have that. Sport Plus didn't get, like, I'm bouncing all over the road. It's pretty harsh in a good way though. This is for handling here. You got a little bit of understeer there, but it's all controllable and it just handles so good and keeps pulling. Look at how it holds there till almost 7,000 RPM. I gotta say, it's impressive. It drives a whole other level than my Audi. Audi was fast once I tuned it, but this is a notch above, as it should be. It's twice the amount of money, which kind of gets to my other point about price. This thing is a very, very expensive car. I mean, you do get it for a one car stable. It's amazing. I got kids in the back. I can hang with a lot of cars out there. I can handle with a lot of cars out there. It has the look, it has the performance, it's got everything. So, but it is a lot of money, and I do feel like Porsche is a little overpriced. That's just me. But how I got it, 4,000 miles, you know, all the stuff that he had put into it, you know, I feel I did pretty good. But buying new would be kind of out of the question for me. So here we are chilling. I'm just in individual mode. I want to pass somebody. Boom, sport response. See how it just downshifts automatically. Now everything's maxed out. It's ready to freaking go, which is a really cool feature, I have to say. And it's going to give you that 20 seconds, and then it's going to go back to individual mode, so you don't even have to change modes per se. You're just hitting that sport response. After that, it upshifts and it gets you kind of in a regular mode. Let's talk about the stereo system. It's not going to come through in the video, right? This has got a little GoPro mic, but it's amazing. I don't know if any car system is worth $6,000, but I wanted it because it sounds great. I've had Bose before. You guys have seen my videos saying no highs, no lows. It's got to be Bose. This sounds so good, and it doesn't distort. That's the thing. This will not distort no matter how high you turn it up. It's not going to come through, but I mean, the low end, the highs are just really, really, really good. Let's see if I have a song here that I can highlight it. Again, not sure it's worth the money, but it sounds great, guys. If you can find one that has Burmeister, I'd go for it for sure. So that's just touching on the system. It's not going to come up through there, but I just wanted to touch on that. So now going to the things that I love. I've talked about the handling. It's next level. I don't think there's another car that weighs this, is this heavy, that handles like this. You know, show me one. You put it in the comments, you tell me. I mean, it feels like a big 911. It really does. So handling, performance. Yes, the M5, I looked at those. I drove an M5, a new one. The E63, I looked at that. They are fast, 605 horsepower, whatever, and then the M5 has the competition with 6 something. They are fast, no getting around it, but they don't handle like this car, no way. I don't, and the looks are too understated for me. That's why I wanted to either wait for the new RS7 or get into a Panamera. So there's always going to be something faster, right? And I think, you know, those cars, yeah, they're going to be a little faster than this car, but it's like, how many times am I don't really go to the drag strip. I'll do a couple times. We'll go to Fontana in this car to see what it runs. But, so I think, you know, the overall package here is fantastic. I've covered the transmission, the technology. Let's just talk about it. It has that little lag in the beginning, but this is fantastic with this analog screen in the beginning, or in the center here, which I love. They got your big tachometer right there, and then you have 2 configurable screens here. So you got your TPMS there, you have your this is all configurable too, your G-force, your lap time if you wanted to do that. Here's that night vision that I mentioned with the sticker. Like, that's cool, but I don't use it. I don't need it. I wouldn't have configured it with night vision. Again, it's decent, it's cool, but I would have saved the money and got a dang surround view camera. So that's but it's integrated nicely, right? And you have so many different options. So it's like, okay, here I can put the map here. I could have it over there. I could have your nav, you know, cover up this completely. You know, it's very quick once it loads. So I will say that it's snappy. You have a lot of configurability. So it's very configurable, and I didn't like the old Panamera with all the buttons, and I don't like the older Porsche. I think this is a big step forward. There is a learning curve, I will say that. There is a learning curve with this, the technology, but once you get it and you figure everything out for a couple days, you got it, and it's awesome. The carbon fiber, I think, looks amazing. Little pro tip here for the heated steering wheel I talked about on the window sticker. It's right there, which you would never know unless you knew and somebody told you. There's like no button, it's right there. So overall fit and finish of this car is amazing. I love it. It's hands down the nicest car that I've ever driven, and I love it. I really do. So that's kind of touching, you know, kind of covering the things I like, don't like. I think the things that I like are way more than the little nitpicky things that I have for the not likes, but there are some downsides. I mean, you know, there are some things that aren't perfect on the car, but overall it drives so good. I mean, I've never had a car that drives this good. So that's kind of, and then the speed and the transmission, everything is just amazing. And I'm really fortunate to be able to have a car like this. So whatever you guys want to know, put down in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you, you know, as soon as possible. Okay guys, so just want to kind of sit in the car, show you a little bit. So like, here's these carbon fiber, they do door sill guard things here, and they do look cool at night because it's illuminated them, but they kind of get scratched from coming in and out. And then what I thought is kind of lame is, like, this is just carbon fiber, there's nothing lit up here. It's just kind of like, I don't know, $1,400 bucks, not sure, you know, it's worth it, but pretty cool. I'd way rather have the surround view. I will say something I forgot is the doors are amazing. It's not 1-2 clicks. You can bring this thing out wherever you want and just set it there. So it's like there, here. It's actually a really good design, and it's very helpful because they're big doors, right? So you're getting in and out. You don't have to have it set at a certain area. All right, and then getting in here, let's go headroom. Okay, so I'm 5'11", and I haven't sat back here, but look at the Alcantara, just the presentation here. You can do this. Let's get some light in here and see. So you got this back here, which is really nice. I mean, I sit back far here, and I have room. There's these like little grooves here, so I'm comfortable, and my head actually is decent. So pretty comfortable back here. Here's the screen I want to talk to you guys about. So you have this vent again. I mean, again, it's just kind of like, you know, is it necessary? So you have your different things. You have climate, so they can, you know, adjust that here, and then you have the center vent, and then they could adjust this here, right? But it's pretty limited. So you have media, climate. You guys can see I just cleaned my car, but look at the dust that settles here, which is quite interesting. So I put a screen protector here to kind of help, but you go to climate, you have options, and then nav, right? You would think, oh cool, that would be great, put the thing here, but the only way you can see anything is if this nav is set to something, which is kind of weird. So it's limited functionality. If you need 5 seats, it may be worth the option to have you know, it wouldn't be comfortable, but if you have another kid, you could do that and just get rid of this. There's like just a little like cubby here. So this one has heated seats. It has this thing that goes up and down. They have control of their side vents here, which is kind of nice. They what is it, straight pipes call them peasant blockers. So it's not full peasant block, but you got, you know, it does that, and that's all to the switch here, which is like a soft hold, which is kind of cool, to be honest with you. It's not a separate switch, you just do it there. But the Alcantara throughout, which is nice. That's kind of like an upgrade, where like once you get to the Panamera, or the Turbo I should say, I'm sorry, the Alcantara is standard and the air suspension is standard. That's like, wow, those are two things that are actually standard on the Turbo model. This is a couple grand upgrade on a 4S. And then the air suspension, I want to say is like 3,800 bucks, something like that. But overall, it's pretty dang comfy in here. So I just want to kind of show you guys the back, get a different view of the front, and just kind of like highlight it, because I don't spend obviously much time back here, but just wanted to kind of show you guys. Okay, so that concludes the video. That, I mean, I covered, okay, actually, I forgot something. These seats, they're amazing. So my Audi, I love the Audi quilted pattern, and these, you know, they don't look like that, but the material, the positioning, how low you can get, the bolstering, they're amazing. Also, they're not creasing. You know, when those most seats that are side bolstered, you know, pretty good like these, they crack, not crack, but they crease pretty easily, and they really on the driver's side look bad. These don't, for whatever reason. I'm not sure how they pulled that off. So I just thought of that. These seats are amazing. This video is gonna be way long. I thought I was gonna be able to shorten it. I just couldn't. But I covered a lot of stuff. I know you guys are gonna have questions. Put it in the comments, and like I said, I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. And subscribe. I'm gonna try to ramp this thing up. I'm gonna try to take this thing to another level. It's just kind of managing everything, but you know, so I would need to really, you know, I need to get a new camera, an external mic, some better, you know, figure all that stuff out. I'm a hack when it comes to that, really. Like, I try to get, you know, I have a different camera position that I used while driving, and I think it got it, but it kind of got my ugly ass face over here for a little bit. So, you know, I got to experiment with all that and do it more. But that's the plan. I kind of told you guys in the beginning that I could cover all three of those things, and I'd love to do that. I'd love to have a, you know, I would just love to do that, because I'm a car guy through and through, like most of you guys watching this. I'm an enthusiast. I love cars. I have ever since I was 16 years old. So I would like to take this thing to the next level and really ramp up. So subscribe. Put your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if I left anything out. I'm sure I did. This is going to be like part 1. I'm going to really highlight in part 2 the likes and don't likes. I'm going to really kind of spread those out and talk about them more, and have a dedicated video for that. So thanks for watching, and till next video.